This is your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, August 20th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Federal Drug Agency denies marijuana is less toxic than alcohol. From Huffington Post. The National Institute on Drug Abuse released an eyebrow-raising statement to PolitiFact on Monday denying that marijuana is less toxic than alcohol. Quote, claiming that marijuana is less toxic than alcohol cannot be substantiated, since each possesses their own unique set of risks and consequences for a given individual, end quote, wrote the Institute. The statement was in response to a declaration by the pro-pot policy group Marijuana Policy Project that marijuana is less harmful than alcohol. PolitiFact took the claim to task, comparing marijuana-related deaths to alcohol-related deaths and toxicity levels of the two substances. As noted by PolitiFact, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's National Center for Health Statistics reported 41,682 alcohol-related deaths in 2010. The center had no reports listing marijuana as a cause of death. PolitiFact also noted a study by Robert Gable, an emeritus professor of psychology at Claremont Graduate University, that measured the toxicity levels of substances ranging from heroin to marijuana. The study showed that, quote, marijuana is about 100 times safer than alcohol or cocaine. U.S. regulators warn marijuana scams growing like weeds. From Reuters. The Financial Industry Regulatory Authority, Wall Street's industry-funded watchdog, warned that scammers have been targeting investors attempting to tap into the growing U.S. marijuana industry. Nearly 20 states permit the use of marijuana for medical purposes, and voters in Washington and Colorado recently made recreational use legal as well. FINRA said red flags for investors range from the classic pump and dump, in which con artists boost the price of thinly traded stocks by misleading investors about a company's potential, then sell their shares at a peak, to executives with criminal records. The majority of marijuana-related companies are so-called penny stocks that trade on the over-the-counter markets, which do not have the liquidity and reporting requirements of major exchanges, such as the New York Stock Exchange and NASDAQ. Marijuana missionary pleads no contest in Pasco pot trial. From TampaBay.com. A self-described medical marijuana missionary from Shady Hills has pleaded no contest to a pot cultivation charge Monday after a judge rejected his medicinal necessity defense. Alfred Robinson, age 59, was arrested in July after Pasco deputies found 2 marijuana plants on the 5 acres where he lives. He had more plants, he said, but he burned them before the deputies arrived. Robinson, who's had several marijuana arrests dating back to 1979, said he uses the drug to alleviate severe back pain. He has degenerative disc disease, and the court file says he also suffers from anxiety, sleeplessness, depression, and chest pains. Circuit Judge Pat Siracusa sentenced Robinson to 3 years of probation and gave him a waiver on his first drug test. He added a stipulation that if Robinson were to move to a jurisdiction where pot is legal, he wouldn't be in violation. Colorado's marijuana industry shaping up to be legal, but not cheap. From WashingtonPost.com. Colorado's pot regulators opened 3 days of hearings Tuesday to lay out licensing specifics before retail sales begin in January. The proposed rules require that would-be ganjapreneurs pay up to $5,000 just to apply to be in the recreational pot businesses. Operational licenses cost another $2,750 to $14,000. Those who want to sell both medical and recreational pot would have to pay double. Successful applicants must also pass a gauntlet of criminal background checks and residency requirements. Ohio man finds 285 pounds of pot delivered in a new gun safe. From FoxNews.com. WDTN2 in Ohio reports a Shelby County resident phoned police June 19th to say he discovered what turned out to be 285 pounds of shrink-wrapped cannabis, 10 bales of it, enclosed within a $1,700 mail-order gun safe he'd bought online. The unnamed resident had reportedly hoped to house his collection of firearms, including 24 long rifles and 12 shotguns, within the 1,000-pound, 6-foot-tall safe. Authorities believe he is not involved in the smuggling plot. The vault was reportedly manufactured by Champion Safe Company of Nogales, Mexico, and then trucked across the border to local merchant Sportsman's Den. Upon receipt, Sportsman's Den shipped the safe to the soon-to-be shocked buyer. WDTN2 reports that 285 pounds of pot has an estimated street value of $420,000. Neither Champion Safe Company nor Conway Incorporated would return calls ABC News made for comment. This has been your 420 Radio News for Tuesday, August 20th, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines and take a look at Seattle Hemp Fest. Our little walk through the crowd leads us to two ladies with the Seattle Police Department Doritos bag you've heard so much about. Plus, we run into Jorge Cervantes, the legendary cultivator. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back.
If you're an adult